Is Trevor Lawrence living up to his lofty expectations?
Man, it's tough with T Law, my boy Sunshine. Like, it's tough with him because that Urban Meyer year, who could have really saw that coming? Like, yeah, college coaches don't always transition well to the NFL, but it's like it seemed like the safe bet. Like, it seemed like, all right, he'll be at least average, not a damn disaster. You know what I mean? Like, it was a toxic locker. I'm hearing new things come out about that Jags locker room to this day. It seemed like something out of a movie. You know what I mean? Like, that shit was a nightmare for someone of his stature and, his talent. So that first year was kind of a wash. It's been really up and down with him, but, we live in like a what have you done for me lately kind of fast food, fast media, fast everything world. And I think with some more time, like, he's shown us enough, like, yeah, he deserved to be the number one pick. Was he, this transcendent talent? Maybe not, but he didn't put the expectations on himself. So, to me, they have a franchise quarterback, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's hard to get quarterbacks. And, when they're playing football, everybody wants to bitch and moan, oh, he's not it, da, da, da. And it's easy to blame the quarterback. Team could be making all kinds of mistakes, but we're going to blame the quarterback. And, I mean, I think that he's handled everything properly. I think he handled the situation with Urban Meyer. Like, he handled it in a respectful way. He was never – yeah, he handled it professionally. And it's like, this is when he's supposed to learn how to become a professional. You know what I mean? Like, that was not beneficial for him in his professional growth. But he, turned it into a positive. The next year they got an actual coach in. They were able to go to the playoffs. And, they were even playing well for a little bit of a time this year. And it just kind of fell by the wayside for whatever reasons. I think that for the most part, if he was a free agent quarterback, like, I think he's getting a super max. He's breaking a record for a new deal. Yeah, because he's a franchise quarterback, and if you're a franchise quarterback, someone's gonna sign you to a lucrative deal. That's just what it is. It doesn't matter.
The Jags are not letting that boy go whatsoever.
Right. Yeah,
Like, Austin, this is what I'm really like questioning. Like, what do you think they're doing with their wide receiver? Like, it kind of seems like they need to get like that true number one. Like, I think Christian Kirk's like an amazing 2. And they just got Gabe Davis, but that's another 2. And who else they got now? They got Zay Jones. That's like a 2-3.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely
they're cool, but like, when are they they need to really get that guy? If anything, they should have been on the market for Stephon Diggs themselves.
Well, but maybe they were watching the film when they were watching Gabe Davis, and they were looking at Stephon Diggs, and they were like, you know what, like, yeah, and I think what they're doing at wide receiver is what they can do. They maxed out Christian Kirk because he was the best available wide receiver on the market that year, and everybody couldn't believe that they paid $20 million for Christian Kirk. And they traded for Calvin Ridley. It didn't work out, and somebody was able to give him a higher offer with in the like late hours or whatever the situation was.
Keep in mind with the Calvin Ridley thing, it was like they were going to have to give up like a draft pick on top of that. Like, there were some of the details, it just didn't really make sense for him. Like, he was cool, but it was just kind of like
there was no clear separation that he was the alpha wide receiver in that wide receiver room. So it was kind of like, oh dang, we
perfectly set.
So I mean, I think what they're going to do is they're like, yo, this is a deep wide receiver class. So I think that they're going to definitely take a shot at wide receiver. Maybe they don't take a shot at wide receiver in the first round, but for sure in the second round, might even double dip, take one in the second, take another one in the fourth. Like, this is a deep wide receiver class. And a lot of people believe after the fifth wide receiver or the fourth wide receiver, 5 through 20, it's like, pick what you want. Pick the type of wide receiver you want. So in a draft like that, They'll probably hope to get their special guy in this this draft season, and they'll see what they can do, develop them, have him with Trevor for a little bit, and if they can build that chemistry up, it'll work itself out. So, and they don't have an alpha number one, but they do have everything else. They do have a nice tight end. They got two solid backs out the backfield.
Travis,
Offensive line.
did they pick somebody up, or am I like missing?
Tank Bigsby. They drafted Tank Bigsby last
Tank
year.
Bigsby. Yeah, he's cool. He cool.
So it's like they're throwing darts at the board.
And they got Josh Allen, the edge, Josh Allen. And they
all pro. Yeah.
And then they just picked up Eric Armstead. So that D line should be looking pretty smooth, I think.
I mean, yeah, they still need a third pass rusher, I believe, and I think they need some help at cornerback. They need a lot of help at cornerback.
I think that's what they go first round, to be honest. They'll probably go corner because the defensive players in the draft, they're going to drop because there's so much offense and the loaded in the
right. And as awesome as it is to talk about the wide receivers and how spectacular they are, it's like when you talk about what's it called, surplus in economics. If there's a surplus of wide receivers and there isn't that many cornerbacks in this draft or many defensive players at all that we really, really like, it's like, all right, well, how about we just go ahead and take this corner and then we'll get the wide receiver in the second or third round.
I think it's a pretty deep corner class too. I mean, the receiver class is deeper, but I still think it's a pretty deep corner class.
It's deep, but if you can get Kool-Aid McKinstry to fall to you, or I want to say A.D. Mitchell, but I don't think that's not his name. The Toledo prospect, the cornerback that ran a 4.3, who was killing it at the Senior Bowl. I cannot believe I don't know his name. Sorry, the Cowboys aren't looking at corners in the first round, so I don't know any of the cornerback names.
I feel like, are you talking about a Donnie Mitchell?
Donnie Mitchell. No. I'm talking about the cornerback from Toledo. I cannot believe I don't know his name. That's crazy. Quinn Mitchell. Quinn Mitchell.
Yeah, he's not making it to the Jags, though, I think. I think he's going to be first corner off the board.
But that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, all right, whereas 3 cornerbacks might be off the board, it's like, okay, 3 or 4 might be off the board. Maybe there's not. Maybe he's the only one off the board.
Because did they even make the playoffs?
No, they did not. They lost. They were up. They were getting ready to make the playoffs. At one point, I want to say they even had
So maybe they could get Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. So it's like, yo, they're in the middle. They're drafting in the middle of the. Yeah, they're in the middle of the draft. They anywhere between 14 and 20. I'm pretty sure they draft.
Based off what you've seen, and I know it's his first year. We gotta see how he does when the coaches know what to look for and the defensive coordinators know what to look for. But who do you think is really going to come out on top in that division?
Hey, we got to see. We got to see what Anthony Richardson does, bro. They won shit. They made the playoffs with Gardner Minshew as their quarterback. So we talking about the Colts.
We're about to get to the Colts, so we might as well segue into them right now.
Right.
Well, Jacksonville Jaguars, just to confirm, is number 17 in the first
round. 17. Okay.
Yeah, so that would be. I mean, he would
that'd be great for corner. Yeah, I think they're definitely going corner, but that draft thing that is coming up. Little Easter egg.
Excuse me if I pronounce his name wrong, but
Shane Steichen.
Can you say that again for me? Steichen.
Shane Steichen.
Steichen. Okay.
Steichen. Yeah.
So can Shane Steichen build upon last year's success with the return of Anthony Richardson?
Yeah. I mean, if Anthony Richardson's healthy, yeah, they're going to be a problem. I mean, they got some holes on defense they need to fill. I think right now they got two cornerbacks that are starting caliber cornerbacks. They need probably at least one more, ideally maybe another two more DBs. And after that, I think that they would be cooking. I definitely think that they got a solid wide receiver core with Michael Pittman coming back, and then also Josh Downs.
Alec
The
Pierce,
offense,
like Alec Pierce, sleeper.
Alex, right? I just think that the offensive coordinator is the reason why the Eagles went to Super Bowl now 2 years back. I think that
That's
he's
why
one
the
of the reasons
Colts
why they
have
had
a
a good
soft
season.
spot in my heart for
Yeah,
real. Snatch.
and yeah, I think he's like a really good head coach. Like, I think his scheme is perfect. He's the type of head coach that's like, okay, this is a talented player. This is how I'm going to get him involved on our offense. This is a talented quarterback. This is what we're going to run to showcase all of his talents, whether it's with his arm strength, whether it's with his legs. He's the type of coach that's going to get the most out of the players that he has. And I'm not saying that he might that the Colts have the same type of roster as the Houston Texans, but I think that that's going to be, they're going to battle. They're going to battle for that division, for the top spot in that division, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun division to look forward to next year.
Yeah, which is unlike, years past. Like, it's really looking good. I just hope the kid learns how to slide and not take all that damage to his body. I mean, if he was playing in the early 2000s, he'd be cooked. He'd be cooked. Like, he needs to learn how to slide and just avoid that contact, to be honest.
Anthony Richardson. He's talking about Anthony Richardson, by the way.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson. I mean, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're cool. I think they're kind of ways away with the Texans and Jags in that division. But Shane Steichen's definitely that difference maker. Where if they did make a surprise little run,
because it made the playoffs. The Jags didn't make the playoffs.
You said what?
The Colts made the playoffs, and the Jags didn't.
That's a fact. See, I'm over here just name value. You know how to name value. I mean, it's like, yeah, Trevor Lawrence, Gardner Minshew. And
it's funny about that, because I guess there was a report out, and I don't someone actually told it to me, but basically, if you compare, and I'm not trying to shade Jermaine's, but they were like, yo, if you compare Daniel Jones's stats to Trevor Lawrence's, they're not that far. You'd be surprised that they're not that far apart.
Was that the first couple years or no?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they were
years, such a.
Yeah, I don't know if they included like this year when your man got hurt. He was hurt. You know what I'm saying? He only played in a few games, but like, yeah, I think they were saying like body of work over the same amount of time. Trevor Lawrence maybe has a few better games than DJ, but they were just like DJ just has those games where he just was bad. Like, he just has those, those bad games. But
Bankers, yeah.
So that's something to consider when it comes to DJ too. It's about how people perceive you, because of that number one pick, because we don't have the jokes, with Trevor Lawrence like that. It's kind of, he's looked at a certain way compared to like, DJ, who apparently his team is trying to.
That trip against the Eagles where he had the full thing and then he fell on it. Yeah. I was like, yeah, he's never going to be taken seriously. I respect the heart, because he was pissed in that post-game interview, but it's like, come on, bro. It's Looney Tunes.
It's almost like he forgets he's the quarterback, the leader of the team. The way he carries himself is not, like a leader. But I mean,
what are you talking about?
I don't know about that.
I'm talking about DJ.
Keep in mind, you're talking about my team. He carries himself.
Yeah, he handles the media.
Like, he gets a lot of criticism and all that. Plus, we were talking about the long. It had nothing to do with it. But,
yeah, bro. Like you be surprised. Like, some of these quarterbacks, they wouldn't be built for that. They would not. They couldn't even be in New York. You know what I mean? Like, they'd have to turn their phones off and shit.
The same thing with Dallas. It's like an extra thing you need. It's like another comparison is like a quarterback that's comfortable playing in cold weather. It's almost like that. Like, are you comfortable dealing with this pressure? Because that mental anguish.
Can you throw in that shit?
Yeah, it hits different. It's a very mental game, above the ears type game.